Good morning, everyone. It's Joker, and today we are back with another slime video. And now that Jubilee videos are out and all the units have released, it's time to update the tier list with this month's Summer Memories 2.0 meta, skill fusions, etc., etc. So, let's get some of the things out of the way that people may have questions on. First off, what do the icons mean? The purple little rainbow icon right here means that they have a skill fusion. So one or two of their skills have been upgraded off of their base level. And, some people may get better, some people may essentially stay the same. That's just what that little icon means on all these people. The elemental icon that you see above someone means that they have their EX Unbound Awakening, or upgrade. So they were old characters, whether they're really old 5 stars, like someone down here, or they're EX units that got EX Unbound. That's just denoting this little icon right here. And it's not for everyone. Most of the time, the EX Unbound by itself doesn't change people, except if you're an old character. But it's mostly the skill fusions that really makes a difference in their tier list ranking from their base counterparts. So that's what that is. Before we go into the new characters, I always forget to put this one up, but I realize that people are still playing these units as they start the game. This is the old 5-star tier list with their skill fusions before they got EX upgrades. So if they have an EX upgrade, they'll be on the next page. But this is the old, from OG release in 2021 to the end of EX metas, or the start of EX metas in February of 2023. These are all the characters that came out in between that time gap. So a lot of the units that are super old, they'll be listed here. Have fun trying to find them. There's a lot. But these, we don't get any normal 5-star characters anymore. They're all free-to-plays. We only get EX and EX Unbound characters now, so this tier list, this sheet itself, will no longer be updated, essentially. Alright, so starting off the new batch of characters with the free-to-play units, the free-to-play Ifrit, and then the skill fusion for Summer Ramras, who came out 2 years ago. Ramras, with her skill fusion, it made her Enamor skill 5 points cheaper to use, and it gave it a little bit extra buff on blue orbs, and that's cool and everything, but it doesn't really change her kit enough to warrant an upgrade, especially since she's already in A tier. She's still fairly good, but her skill fusion, I don't think, really does anything major to push her up into another tier level. So we'll put her next to her base level counterpart. And then Ifrit, I mean, he's okay, but he's also limited, because his orb change is only for Summer Memories, and we only get maybe one of those a year, so there's not a lot of characters that fit that. And then his 10% physical or magic attack is only for speed-type units, so you're really limited in who's actually going to benefit off that, and it's not a very big buff anyways, so we're going to put you into the limited tier, because everything that you do has a limitation on it, unfortunately. So that is the free-to-play characters. Moving on to the protection characters, we have the free-to-play Dino and the Protector Guy. Dino, unfortunately, is just he's just not good. None of the free-to-play protectors that do one alt swap and then maybe a chance for something, none of them are exceptionally good. I would not use them. You'd have to do quite a bit to go a little bit higher as free-to-play protectors. But then we have Protector Guy, who is our first, what I would say, decent speed-type blue protector, because a lot of them have been Summer Trainee, or Tempest Elite Trainee, or Wind Gabaru, and burst blue teams have historically not been super great. Guy is actually a fairly good protector, full converting to blues, giving you 20 points when you use him on top of the passive 30 points that he just gives from his normal kit, and then Aegis rate, and then for 5 turns he gives you the 10% attack buff. I mean, Guy, I think, is very good. I don't think he's quite godly, but he is a very good burst blue protector, and the first of his kind, because again, burst blues have just been not great. So I'm fairly happy with his output. The fact that he doesn't do rainbow orbs at all does hold him a bit back, considering that a lot of the other speed protectors like Soe and Shuna and Mills, they give at least one rainbow orb whenever you use them. I get that he gives you 20 skill points instead, and his team is built around the Enamor, so you don't really need a lot of ult gauge, but I think it would have helped him a little bit had he given a rainbow orb. Alright, now we move on to the big main tier list, all the EX characters and skill fusions and everything. We have two EX upgrades and one skill fusion for Hinata. So currently, Hinata exists in the Triple Orb Steel category, and that's where she belongs. Now with her skill fusion and EX upgrade, does she enhance her output enough to go into damage only? I would say yes, under the condition that you have someone to give Enamor, because the 150% Enamor, if you're fully maxing that skill out, is a huge, huge jump in power. So she could be your Triple Orb Stealer, she could also be your DPS when you meet another condition, but it certainly does work. So we'll push her up into the damage only tier, away from her counterpart. And then for Summer Lumi, man, she's all the way down here. I mean, her skill fusion didn't really push... I mean, I think it pushed her up into C tier, and her EX Unbound status does not change that. So, congrats, Lumi. You stay where you originally were. Why do I have her twice? That's a bit weird. I'll fix that later. This should probably be her skill fused icon, and this is her normal icon. So, just keep that in mind. Okay. And the three new Primordial Demon ladies. We'll start with my girl Blanc, and unfortunately, she's a bit limited. Alright, and there's no other way to say that. Yes, she has the Enamor ability. Fantastic. Okay. A lot of other characters have that too. The Rainbow Orb change, only for Summer Memories, and the 50% attack buff, again, only for Summer Memories, means that you're not really using her on any other team. And if you want to use her for just rainbows like we do for Violet, you better be doing something else for the team. Because Violet's doing rainbows, she's doing control, she's doing weakness strike stack, she's doing ult resistance down. Like, the difference between this Violet and this Blanc is hilarious. So, unfortunately, Summer Blanc is hot, but you're never going to use her again, because Summer Memories is gone in 11 days or something, and we're not going to get another team until next year, maybe. So we're never going to use her at her full potential, because we're not going to build a full Summer Memories team that can take advantage of her buffs. And since she's not a DPS character, she doesn't really care about the attack buff either, because she's not doing damage. Moving on to Violet with the blue orb gimmick that is like, where are you? Spirit Master Jean down here. It's limited or situational. Well, her EX alt buff is fairly good. So we're going to put her up into the good tier. The fact that she has the orb gimmick, the fact that she can do a 200% generic EX alt buff as long as you use your protection skill a couple of times, like that's good. She can do things for other teams outside of Summer Memories, and that's good. And then she has the dark character alt swap. It's situational, but the rest of her kit I think is fine for the most part, and she could be used as a substitute damage support for other teams. So, okay, cool. I don't think she's great, but she can definitely work in a pinch. And then we have Summer Jean, who is a DPS character. She has some level of support in the single target attack and the Aegis power for speed type characters. And then her second skill is the Enamor Strike and the alt damage for 2 turns. Like, you can definitely get some use out of her, but I think she's half of her kit is limited, but I think she's still a little bit better than that. I'm going to put her in A tier for now, because the alt buff is generic and 100% in 2 turns. The single target buff, if you're single target nuking, it will help them, or herself. And then the Aegis and Enamor Strike is conditional, right? You need someone to give Aegis rate, and you need someone to have Enamor for that to really activate, but those are like almost personal things for her at this point. So I'm going to put her in A tier with the, I think, kind of heavy assumption that in the next couple months, I'm going to move her down to C tier. I don't know if her buffs alone are enough to keep her up towards this level when we probably aren't going to get another Aegis team for a while. AoE ults are going to be a thing, and this was specifically a single target kind of meta. I think she will fall off heavily. So in like September or October, I will probably drop Jeanne down, but for now, she can be a competent support or a DPS character. And I don't really have any other changes to make to the existing list. I made some changes last month, and I'm fairly happy with that right now. But let me know what you guys think of this month's tier list update. Do you agree with my placements of the summer ladies? Do you have some wishes that you would like to see changed as well? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, but that's it from me. Take it easy, and I'll see you all later.